What's going on, Launa? Welcome back to the number one podcast in Riverside. This is your second time on here.
Hi,
Congratulations.
Adam.
Thank you.
Stop scaring me with the giant claps.
Oh, okay.
Please.
Well, we have to clap because sometimes I've been in here 20 minutes before and he doesn't know when the podcast started.
Oh.
So that's why we clap.
Okay.
That's how we started off.
Got it.
This show is sponsored by Resilient Real Estate Group, powered by EXP. So, you're thinking about buying and selling soon? Yes, we know you probably know a realtor, your mom's best friend's cousin's neighbor who puts her face on the local shopping cart. But you know what? Our friends at Resilient Real Estate Group have helped hundreds of thousands of people sell houses over the years, and they definitely know what they're doing based on their 5-star review on Google and Zillow. So, it doesn't matter if you're looking to buy a $1 million house or a fixer-upper, make sure the next time you're thinking about buying and selling real estate, you give our friends a call over at Resilient Real Estate Group. And now we're back to the show. Hey, listen, we use that clap.
We need one of those things.
We have one of those. Did you tell Adrian? Did I tell you I had Notre Dame High School in here the other day?
No.
They're starting a podcast class and they came here to talk to us.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we were talking about the clapping thing. We're like,
are you gonna train them, mentor them?
No.
Oh.
We might go stop by their first one. But the principal came. They brought a few people.
That's sweet.
Yeah, you know.
They just reached out to you?
Well, I had them on the podcast.
Got it.
And then they brought their students, and then we were sitting here. So then I did a podcast with their 2 students. So that's gonna go live next week, right?
That's
2 weeks
great.
from now.
Supporting the kids.
What's going on with you?
Man, I'm a little busy doing a couple of things.
Well, last time you came on, when was that? A year ago?
It was a little over a year ago. Yeah, right at
how long he's been gone since RCC?
Yeah, as I had went full time on my own with my consulting work.
How's it feeling?
It's been amazing.
A year in?
A year in.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's great. I'm happy. I'm happier professionally than I ever have been.
Really?
Yes.
What's the reason?
Because I do my own thing. I manage my own time. I do the work that I want to do and can say no if I don't want to do something, you know?
That is.
And I'm doing even more now in terms of things that align with my own personal vision and values, you know?
That's something that allows you to do it. So it's always that fine line.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you say no to and what do you say yes to?
Right.
So you kind of sometimes have to say no to things because you just don't want to do it. But then sometimes you have to say yes to things you really don't want to do.
Right.
So then you're like, it's almost like 6 moves down the road.
But the best thing, and I know you know this, you do your own, you've been doing your own thing forever.
Yeah.
You get to make that choice.
Well, but then it's like yesterday I went to Costa Mesa and met with this old Asian lady that randomly called us. And on the way, she had me buy a case of water. She's like, can you stop by the store and pick up a case of water? And I was like, okay.
Sure. Ma'am.
I show up with a case of water. So then I can show up with a case of water, and then we get there, and the house is in Costa Mesa, so it's $1 million house, but it's totally messed up on the inside.
Ooh.
She's been trying to flip it for 2 years. She has to be in her 60s or 70s, and then she's like, okay, well, let's go. She lives right by the South Coast Plaza. She's like, all right, let's go to that coffee shop at the mall so we can talk. And I'm like, but we're already here.
We're here.
So then she just jumps in my car. Wasn't expecting that. We drive over there. We go to sit down at the coffee shop. She goes, I don't want to sit here. There's too many people around us.
Man.
And then so we walked around the mall, and she was just window shopping just shuffling around while we're trying to
Adam the realtor.
While we're trying to talk about real estate.
Go where the customer is, right?
I guess. So,
even if it's to South Coast Plaza.
She sat down at a restaurant. She wanted to eat dinner, and I was like, Jessica's in the car waiting for us. I was like, no, we have to go.
Maybe we should come up with some screening questions for you.
I tried, but it's she's $1 million house in Costa Mesa.
What are you gonna do?
I can take 2 hours out of my day on a Sunday.
It was more than 2 hours, though, wasn't it?
Oh my God, it was so long. She was crazy.
Don't say that.
She was. She in a nice way. She was out there. I don't think we're gonna.
Are you gonna get the business?
I don't think we're gonna move forward with that client. So it goes back to that. If it was easy, I have this house, I want to sell it. Cool, I could jump through some hoops.
Right.
But if it's gonna be 8 months,
and there's no way to know.
Who knows?
Until you're
and
in
it's
it.
So what does that take me away from? Mentally, especially. Yeah. So what are you currently working on right now?
So I'm sighing because I'm tired, but in the best way, right? Yeah. So I'm working with a number of nonprofit organizations.
Do you name drop who you're working with?
No, I'm not going to do that.
Oh.
But some really good local nonprofits that are doing great work in the community. Some in LA, Long Beach area, so I'm expanding a little bit.
That's good.
And in addition, I've jumped into some local politics, managing a city council campaign right now. Going to be managing a school board race.
Oh, really?
School board candidate coming up for the November election.
Interesting.
And up in my volunteer work that's also aligned with my personal values.
Nice.
So something that I was thinking about this morning as I was getting myself together and thinking about coming to see you, Adam, was where does all this come from? So I'm doing nonprofit work, I'm doing political work, I'm doing policy work. I just joined the Behavioral Health Commission at the county level. Tonight is my first meeting of the Chief of Police Community Advisory Board, and why all of these different things.
I'll say this,
right?
You have one great husband.
Yes, I do.
Yes. Shout out to Chad.
Shout out to Chad Michael Young.
Yeah.
Because if it weren't for him, I wouldn't be doing any of this stuff, right? I'd still be at the job, working that 9 to 5. But I was thinking back this morning to back 20 years ago when I was in college.
When you're in Vegas?
When I was in Vegas at UNLV getting my bachelor's in social work. In my junior year was when they started practicums. That's your internships where you go out. Initially, I had planned to be a child welfare worker.
Okay.
The typical thing that you think of when you think about what a social worker is. So I had my first practicum was at the emergency shelter for abused kids. And every little kid that I interacted with made my mind automatically jump to what are the bigger issues that have landed this kid in this emergency shelter? What are their parents dealing with bigger at the systems level that have resulted in them abusing this poor little kid, and so I realized way back then that my mind automatically goes to the bigger picture. What are those bigger societal issues? Are there policy issues? What are the bigger picture things? And how come I'm just working here with the individual when I feel like I could probably make a bigger impact at the higher level? And I remember having my teachers during that time tell me, stay in your lane, Launa. You need to, I know you're interested in all this bigger issue stuff, but you need to go help that kid. You need to go do that home visit with that one family.
It's too short-sighted.
It is very short-sighted. And so it was back then, and I remember in my senior year, as I was graduating and preparing to enter my master's program for my social work, my master's degree in social work, I need to find a different lane.
Yeah.
Because the lane that I'm in right now, and God bless the people that work one-on-one with families in need, there's a place for those folks. I just realized very early on that that was not my place. And so jumping forward to everything I'm involved in now, it's really because at the foundation of who I am, I see things from a bigger picture, from the systems, right? And so the stuff that's impacting me on a day-to-day basis, who are the people that are making the laws, making the local regulations and decisions, right? And how can I make sure that there's good people in those seats? We see the homeless folks, the homeless crisis on our streets. What are the main issues? Mental health and drug addiction. So where do I need to be, and how can I influence the policies and the programs that are put into place to help those folks to get better? And so it really is, even though it seems like I'm doing a whole lot of different things.
It's all wrapped around the same idea.
It's all wrapped around the same idea.
Well, that's the problem is it's so many different moving parts that everyone has to work together. And so that's why it's so funny when you hear people come out that are running for office or whatever, and they're like, we're going to do this. Great.
Right.
Awesome. You have no idea what that takes to bring that on, and how many people you have to have.
We're going to fix homelessness. Okay.
And how many people you have to have fall in line.
Absolutely.
Because it's not just you.
No.
You have to get everyone else on board with you.
Right.
To do it. And if they don't want to do it.
That takes a lot of skill,
and that takes skills. It takes people. It takes bartering. It takes like, okay, what do you want? And so that's also, the struggle is that some people have a lot of great ideas, but they don't have the ability to even pull them off in the first place.
Right.
Because it's hard to get everything running in the right direction. It's like nonprofits, like what you started. There's a lot of people that want to do good things, but don't realize P&Ls. Don't realize how to raise money,
right?
Because they think, it's a great idea. People,
I'm gonna just go feed the homeless.
People are obviously gonna give me money for this,
right?
It doesn't work that way because they're already giving money to other things. So how do you take money from that?
All the time.
I bet
with potential nonprofit clients. Oh, I want you to come in and help me raise more money. Okay, well, hold on a second. Tell me about your board.
Yeah.
Tell me about your finances right now. You have to start at the infrastructure level. before you can talk to me about raising money.
I mean, that's why it's so impressive to see like the really big ones.
Yeah.
But then the hard part is then it takes up, so much funding.
Even more resources.
Yeah. And then people get upset. It's so funny. Then people get upset. Like, what was the one? Like, who is it? Like their CFO or CEO came out there making like $20 million a year. I don't remember what company, like Red Cross.
I think it might have been.
Red Cross. I think it might have been. No. But it's like, well, that person's handling like a multi huge organization.
Pay people what they need to be paid.
Like he's running a multi organization. What do you think it's gonna like?
Right.
Who are you gonna get that's smart enough and has the experience enough when corporate America would pay him that much?
Absolutely. That's one of the biggest misconceptions of nonprofit organizations is that people assume that they're supposed to be flat broke forever, that nobody's supposed to make any kind of decent salary, that you're supposed to be operating every program on a shoestring, and that's not true.
Maybe that's why that saying comes like, I'm not here running a nonprofit. So like when people always want me to do something for free, I'm like, this isn't a nonprofit. Like Adrian needs to get paid.
Folks can get paid. Anytime I worked in nonprofits for 20 years, I always got paid decent salaries. Right. Yeah. People get paid. But going back to your point of you have to be able to pay people the salaries that align with the skill set that's required.
And the bigger you get, the more skill. Because sometimes you have to go steal those people from corporate America to get that.
Yep.
And really, like, let's be honest, corporate America, they don't waste as much money.
As what? Nonprofits?
As government.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
I'm not here to talk about government.
I'm not saying.
But I want to go back to something that you brought up a second ago when you were like, it takes so much to get things done.
Oh, my God.
Right? Like, it takes skill. It takes... The one thing that I know for sure that in this city and anywhere I've ever lived, and probably anywhere I ever will live, and you too, is that it takes relationships.
100%.
Right? And so I always tell people I've been in the relationship business for 20-something years. Whether I'm raising money.
You always know someone.
Well, I'm grateful, though,
you have to.
that the work that I've done for all these years has forced me to create relationships with people, and I've been really good, and I'm super grateful that the relationships have never stayed with the organization I was working with. They became my relationships, right?
And maybe that's why you're getting some, like, why you blew up so quickly when you left.
I haven't blown up yet, but yes,
you know what I mean?
No, for sure, that was something that
people were buying into you.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was really scared. And I might have mentioned this to you.
Yeah, we talked about it,
that I wasn't sure how I was going to do my first year, right? Number one, I'm leaving a really good salary to go out on my own, and nothing is guaranteed. But is my phone going to ring? Like, how much money am I going to have to spend on marketing? I've spent zero on marketing because of the fact that the relationships that I've built. 20 years, 12 here in Riverside. And I'm grateful that the relationships that I built are my relationships, not just because of where I was at.
Well, and Riverside's a weird town too. It's like very old school.
Yeah.
There is that group of people,
the core
that run this city.
Yep.
That like the players that you have to know.
Yeah.
To be around with. Like I don't really play in that field, so it's like
why not?
I don't need to be honest. Those aren't my people. I like what I do. I like my people.
Yeah.
I don't need to. I mean, I'm trying to get involved in a few other people, so, push things through the city if I need to be pushed through because of now the development side. But, like, those people already have someone. They have Brad, or they have Colette Lee, or they have James Monk, or they have someone. Like, that's not my people. Like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
If I only have a certain amount of time in a day,
where
am I going to waste my time? Not going to, as I just went to an event the other night, but,
I don't know. I find a lot of value in that nurturing of the relationships, but it's really because that's number one what I've done my whole career. But number two, going back to the systems view, the larger picture view that I have for my life and everything that I do, I want to be able to call the chief of police.
Yeah.
If there's an issue that's impacting somebody that is important to me, or an organization that I'm involved with, right? I want to be able to call our mayor or any of our individual city council members. I want to be able to make those calls and have somebody pick up to actually pick up the phone in order to, and it's not like I'm calling for personal favors. But it's all about what I can do and how I can leverage my relationships to do good in the community.
They also have to figure out what they're going to do. So it's like, okay, am I going to go to this, give funding to some stranger, Or I know this person, Launa's helping this company. I know that the funds are going to be blah, blah, blah. I know it's going to be done right. Let's just move it over there. And that's, I'm sorry to say, but that's the game. Like, I was talking to someone yesterday, and they were putting in on a spot in downtown Riverside. And someone gave it to someone else because they knew that person.
Because it's not what you know necessarily. Exactly. It's who you know.
For sure.
Yeah.
So.
Nothing wrong with that.
I'm happy to see, because I knew, before you made that jump, you were nervous.
I was nervous.
And the sad thing is,
it
never goes away. You know what I mean? Like, it's something that you just kind of go numb to it, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know?
You know I can waste no time, because I gotta keep it tight. I'm in my bag, got my eyes on the price. You know I can waste no time, because I gotta keep it tight. I'm in my bag, got my eyes on the price. You know I can waste no time, because I gotta keep it tight. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me.
I do know that there's good months and bad months.
Yeah.
Right? Folks don't pay me on time.
100%. Thank God I don't have to get paid by people. Thank God escrow gives me checks. Because if I had to get paid by my clients, I doubt I would get checks on sometimes.
Wow.
And there's some people that would not have paid me.
At all.
Oh, there's a few, yeah.
You better fix your professionalism.
There are times, the thing I'll say this too about the times that has happened, they are grateful that I'm that person because it benefited them in that transaction and it got the thing closed, but it also upset them because that's who I am.
Right.
But that's why they hired me. So it's hard.
So there's a little bit of abrasiveness that people are willing to put up with.
That's why you're hiring me.
Right.
Because when things hit the fan, I'm the guy that steps in, but I'm also that person to you where
sometimes when I need to
when I need to be.
Right.
When I need to work the boundaries. And in my head I calculate really fast. Is this going to be a future client? Is this someone who's going to give me business? Is this or is this a one-time deal?
You don't have to worry about being
We're never going to talk to him again. The last one was like he moved to Florida. Like I'm never going to talk to that guy again.
Yeah.
And I'm just not going to get talked down to like that.
Well,
No,
nobody should
do me a
be
favor.
allowed
Do me a favor.
to...
Look at the camera over there. Look over that. Isn't that a terrible angle? Hate that angle. God, that angle's terrible. That's why we moved the camera lower. It looks like we're
you're looking down on.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying.
Like it's a security camera feed. It's worse. I don't care. I'd rather deal with the reflection.
Adrian is a professional.
Yeah,
I assume that he knows what he's doing.
I agree.
Okay.
Adrian, we talk to you off camera because it's like Joe Rogan. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You don't like Joe Rogan, do you?
I don't dislike Joe Rogan.
Listen, I'll say this: you talk to as many people. I will say you talk to as many people as he does, and talk as long as he talks. You're bound to upset someone. It's just impossible.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure I've upset a number of people in my day.
But how many people has he helped out?
Right.
That he's put on blast.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying I'm on that level, but I am the number one podcast in Riverside. I don't know if that's
How long have you had this podcast, Adam?
2 years now.
Okay.
Yeah. When are you going to start your podcast?
I don't need a podcast.
No?
Nobody needs to hear me talking that much.
Why? I saw your girl at the club the other day.
Ooh, what?
Doctor.
Oh, my friend Joan.
Yeah.
I had lunch with her.
I'm trying to get her people on the
drink
podcast.
with her last week.
I'm trying to get her people on the podcast. Yeah. I think that'd be good.
No, that would be really good.
I'm excited.
She does great work.
But I'm excited for that group she's helping out. They help out young black men.
Oh, the 100 Black Men.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm excited to have them on.
Yeah. No, that'll be a good podcast.
Yeah.
They're doing good work.
See, that's the thing is
that
goes because I kind of feel like they're kind of like you, right? Like let's get to them before they get in trouble.
Yeah. How about that?
Exactly. Like why wait until they're drug addicts
right.
or in jail?
It's the bigger picture.
Let's get to them before that.
Let's prevent in the first place.
Yeah.
And then, heaven forbid, one of them does end up.
But I just think the stats
trouble.
are kind of where we're at now, where everyone kind of knows the problems. It's just I think some people struggle. They don't want to say them out loud.
Really?
I think so.
I mean, if you can't name it, you can't fix it.
But people who run for office don't want to upset people, so they don't say things the way they say.
True.
I always think I believe everything is economically issue and family based. If you have a good, strong family and your family has money and you're not rich, but if you're making money,
resources make the world go round.
And you have a good, stable home at home, that helps you out a lot.
Yeah.
That person, whoever.
But not having those things doesn't automatically
No, it doesn't.
equal failure,
it just
right?
hurts it's just like if you're born into a really rich family.
Right.
You're just, the odds were.
It's the playing field
Yes,
scenario.
like if you're running a race, like this person got a head start. Doesn't mean you can't beat them.
Yeah.
But they do have a head start.
Right.
And
well, I'm glad that you know.
Oh, I mean, I grew up I'm a middle class Orange Crest, went to King, and I'm white, and I have a good family. Like, hello.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying that didn't take a lot of work to get here, but having that core belief, core family, having my grandfather having a little bit of money and he could help me out through my life, like, yeah.
Absolutely.
Where when I started this company, like there was a few times I had to borrow $20,000 from him so I could pay rent. Yeah.
And he had that to give.
Yeah, and he had that to give.
That's a blessing.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Same thing we talked about Philip on the podcast.
Yeah.
Like he was living, if he didn't have his uncle here and lost everything in the storm, like that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If he didn't have someone here to help him out, and he was out on the streets in New Orleans, who knows where he didn't
Who knows? He wouldn't be here.
Exactly.
No, it's absolutely true. I wish more people...
But people won't admit that that's the truth.
I wish more people would be willing to admit when they have privilege.
It's privilege, but it's not... It's like...
It doesn't mean you don't also work hard.
No, exactly.
But you had a little bit of a head start where somebody else may not have.
Yeah, and some people waste it.
Right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Some people waste it and some people don't.
Yep.
You know, and then if you get that person that had the head start and they didn't waste it, then those are the people.
Sky's the limit.
Yeah. I mean, so it's like giving people opportunities. I always say, like, I don't think anyone as a kid was like, one day I'm going to sell crack on the corner. Like, you know what I mean? Like, or I'm going to be a drug addict, or I'm going to do this, or rob.
Out like that.
No one starts out. No kid thinks like that.
Nope.
It's like we get ingrained, and then it's survival mode, and then you do what to do to survive, or you do what to do to numb yourself from your situation you live in. And so that's really what
going back to what I was telling you in the beginning, it's a bigger system.
Yeah.
Everything that I do, everything that you do is impacted and impacts somebody else or some other part of that system in society. It's all interconnected. And I wish more folks recognize that.
I think we were at church yesterday, and the pastor said something like, because church is a business. They need to raise money there. And he said, like, there's a scripture in the Bible because they're talking about money, and I struggle with money. Like I struggle. Like I used to not give money to the church. I used to struggle with it. Now, like, but I do it. But I used to
do your 10%.
Do my 10%, yeah. And but it was something like, it almost nowadays I feel like we're so what's the word I want to say? We're so like take everything for granted that we're so fortunate, but like, oh my God, I have a house and I have food and I have clothes,
but I still got something to whine about.
But I feel like, I'm like, oh, I'm so broke. But you're like, you have a house, you have food,
right? You
have clothes,
right?
You're not gonna die. You're not gonna freeze. Okay. Yeah. Are you strapped for cash and maybe you can't get yes, but that's not poor. Like, no. I think our perspective, especially with Instagram and social media nowadays.
Absolutely.
Like, I was watching before you came in, like a YouTuber driving a Lambo and he crashed it. And like the kid's 18 years old driving a Lambo.
Why?
Exactly.
Why?
Because that's what the world is based on.
Good Lord.
But this hard part is now that's what society is. Like, if you don't have a Lambo,
right,
you're poor.
Yeah.
So it's like almost like if people just realize, like, if everyone just kind of went like this way, life would be a lot better.
Well, I agree with you there. We are, and I don't know if it's just a U.S. America thing.
Maybe.
We are so materialistic and
sure.
so dissatisfied with basically everything that we have.
Yeah.
It seems.
Well, you were the one bashing my table before we started this podcast.
Listen, I think it could just use a little bit of TLC. Yeah. That's all. I like that you found a repurposed table from back in the day. Yeah.
No, I just
polish it up
It's just hard because it's almost like, she's like, I'm never coming on this podcast again. It's just, it gets so ingrained in you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's sad, I don't know about you now, but nothing really like impresses me that much anymore.
That's because you're jaded.
Am I jaded?
You're too young to be so doggone jaded, Adam.
Really?
Yes.
Like for me, like when I go have a really nice dinner, like it's good.
But
the bill was like, that much for that? I
don't know what that is.
No?
You need to practice gratitude. Practice more gratitude.
That's what I'm saying. Like not searching for that next thing. Just be content where I'm at.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Although, I don't know. You're ambitious.
I am.
And so am I in some ways.
So what's your thing? Like if you get like a really big deal, what would you do with that deal? Like if you got a big, what's your thing that like, oh, I want that?
Oh, I don't.
You don't like items?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't know. Well, that's not true. One day I want to have some land.
Okay.
So that I can have, and like I want a little farm. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so you want a farm.
Yeah.
Got it.
But that's like retirement dreams, right?
But like
there.
not a new car, not purse, shoes.
No, I'm not. I don't care about any of that.
I don't
Honestly, what I want to see is how much more I can do that's good for the people where I live.
Yeah.
I'm here to serve. Like it feels like a personal mission, and I come from a family of people that volunteer and try to do good in the community. If you have something to complain about, you can do something about it.
You better go do something about it, yeah.
Right. And so that's really at my core.
Yeah.
If I get a whole bunch of money, I might like just give it to all the nonprofits that I love.
That makes sense. I mean, it's hard because like it's so weird when I see people that are like like yesterday I was at the South Coast Plaza Mall.
Yeah.
You know, window shopping with a client. Window shopping with a client, no big deal. And like I was looking at the stores, and there's not one thing in that store I'd want to buy.
Right.
I was like walking by.
There's people in there buying it though.
Oh, I know. And I was like walking around. I was like, I mean, like even like Rolex, like a watch. I'm like, I don't think
you have a watch.
Yeah,
and it's fine.
It's my Garmin watch and tells me how many steps I get a day.
Perfect.
And it tells me everything I need.
It's a watch with a purpose.
It tells me that, and then it's like I'll ding it up, and I don't care. Like I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, I don't need a Rolex. You don't need a Rolex. Who needs a Rolex? Who needs a Rolex? Same as a kid that needs the Lambo, right?
I mean, a Lambo would be cool for a day.
Then what?
I don't know.
You crash it, and you might as well
have
a Honda.
The hard part about it, if I had a Lambo or a McLaren or something like that, and I came up to the club, all those guys would just bust my balls. They'd be like, "Oh, look at you!" But you know what's funny? When I had a Sprinter van with my face on the side of it, no one said a word.
I really do miss that Sprinter van. I used to be able to tell where Adam's at.
I know.
Because there's your face.
I know. I couldn't hide. So for you, like, what made you jump into the politic game? Is it because you know that's really the main factor to kind of move the wheel forward? Is the people that are making the policies?
In part, yes, but it goes back to my feeling of if I'm going to live here, then I need to be paying attention to what's happening here.
Do you feel like people pay attention in Riverside?
Oh, there's plenty of people that pay attention.
I just feel like
there's people that don't pay attention.
I just feel like we're so big, and I've been here my whole life, and I don't think I don't think I've ever heard my parents talk about like
local
city
politics.
Like who's our city Like I don't even think my parents knew what ward we live in.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
The fact of the matter is that turnout is always very low for local elections.
Yeah.
Like this election,
March 5th.
March 5th, please go out and vote. But a very small percentage of the city's population will actually make the decisions about who's representing us.
I wonder what the numbers are. It has, what do you think, under 20,000 a person per ward?
What do you mean?
Like per ward, so for city council?
So Ward 1, if I'm remembering right, has 20,000 something voters.
Oh, that's it?
We'll be lucky if 5,000 of those people vote.
And you can do it from home.
That small group of people are going to be the ones that are making and it's the same way throughout the city. It's ridiculous.
Is it a way? Do you think we need to make it easier for people to vote?
I mean, how much easier can we make it?
Make it a holiday?
The ballot comes to your home.
True.
All you have to do is fill it out and put it in your mailbox. Like you don't even have to go to the polling place anymore. So it's not like it's hard. I think that just goes back to your point of people being disconnected or not paying attention. I don't want to say people don't pay attention. I think plenty of people pay attention, but maybe it's that folks don't think that their vote actually makes a difference.
I would say that's probably our biggest thing.
Yeah.
I don't think people think their vote matters.
Which really makes me sad.
I think especially if people are in California, if you're a Republican, because you're told so much that your vote doesn't mean anything.
Well, yeah, that's California.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they don't process it on the local scale. It doesn't really matter who you are, because they're nonpartisan.
There's so much attention paid nationwide
which does nothing for
what's
us.
Happening at the presidential level, at the national political level, when on a day-to-day basis, it's the local level that impacts your life.
Do you feel like the city council has more power than the mayor here?
Well, yeah. I mean,
okay.
That's how it's set up.
I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that's how it worked, to be honest.
But they are supposed to be working together with a shared vision to get things done.
You know I can waste no time, cause I gotta keep it tight. I'm in my bag, got my eyes on the price. You know I can waste no time, cause I gotta keep it tight. I'm in my bag, got my eyes on the price. You know I can waste no time, cause I gotta keep it tight. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me.
I have a lot of questions for the mayor that's coming on next.
Well, good.
Because I'm
excited.
To him. And actually, that's not true. I had lunch one time with Rusty Bailey back in the day.
I'm excited about you meeting with our mayor.
I'm hoping this kind of like puts us on the map, having her on. Appreciate you setting that up.
No problem. Happy to do it.
That's why I feel
it's all about relationships.
100%. I'm excited. Like, you know what I'd love to do?
What?
I would love to see you like work. Like, next time you do like an event, I want to come see you do your thing. You want to
come see me do which thing?
Like, I want to see you like, how do you like, okay, like right now, like you're handling someone's city council.
Yeah.
Like, what is the best marketing you're seeing? Was it door knocking? Is it mailers? What are the things that you're seeing that's working?
Right.
Because same thing I do. So.
I mean, knocking on doors and engaging directly with the voters.
You think knocking on doors is the best thing?
Absolutely makes a huge difference. But campaigns don't run for free. So a lot of what I've been doing is helping with raising that money.
How much does it cost to run for city council?
Oh my.
A lot? That much?
It really
much money? I think I could do it for about $750.
You're lying.
Really?
No, you would be a loser.
I don't think so. Lose. Adrian, should I run for what's Orange Grass?
We're talking about
what's Orange Grass? What ward is that? Ward 5? Ward 7?
I think it might be redistricting got me messed up.
Listen, I'm running for Ward 7 in 2 years or 4 years.
You better watch your mouth. You better start raising money now.
I'll sponsor it to myself. You know what I mean? Brazilian Realty Group sponsored by.
No, we're talking about a good 70 to 100.
Where?
And it really depends. Print.
I got a
mail.
Guy. You did EDDM, 35 cents a mailer.
It costs money.
Oh my, $100K?
Yeah. But it also depends on your race, right? If you are running unopposed and you're an incumbent, you don't have to do that.
I never would have guessed that much money.
But if you're in a race where there's multiple candidates, and it's getting kind of, you need to raise more money to be able to address the things that you need to address. But I love it. I really do. I love it because, again, it goes back to,
Really?
It goes back to what is it that impacts my life, your life the most on a day-to-day basis.
Is that why you ran for, that's why who you're helping, because it helps you where you live? Or is that just freak accident?
No.
Oh.
I mean, yes, in part.
But did it just
moving forward with this political stuff that I've found myself in.
You didn't reach out to him, did you?
No, he reached out to me.
Why did he pick you?
Well, because I think, number one of the things that I was told by him was he needed somebody that he knew was going to be able to keep
the hammer down on him.
And you've known me for a little while.
I've been there before.
Right. Sometimes you need the hammer dropped on you to make sure you're staying on track and doing what you're supposed to be doing. So I think that there's a level of respect and a tiny bit of fear involved in that relationship.
You're bigger than him.
A little bit.
You could beat him up. 100%.
I'm not here to beat anybody up.
Physically
and
mentally.
But also I know that it's relationships and the fact that I have a good reputation.
Is he the only one that has a campaign manager, or did
no, all of them? I don't know. I can't speak for anybody else. 100K. I know what I'm doing.
You could give me $100K and I could do some stuff with it.
Well, couldn't you?
I'm running for Ward 7. 20. I will say I wish they would run, because how long is it? 2 years or 4 years for them? 2 years? 2. I wish it was 4 and then limited.
Maybe it is 4. No, it's not 4. Wait, yes, it is 4.
It's 4.
It's 4. I'm sorry.
I wish it was 8 years. I wish it was 8 years and they're done. Because that would give them 8 years to because 2 years in, you're starting to already start planning for
Yeah, but I mean, I have a love-hate relationship with term limits myself. I like the idea of term limits,
I guess because
it keeps folks from getting stagnant and just sitting there not doing anything. But then there's also, you need some institutional memory. Like, it's good to have somebody that's been there for longer than 8 years that can say, oh, you know what? Back in 2010, we tried this and it was a disaster.
That's like Jeff Cross.
Right.
That's like the
He's
Jeff
been there
Cross
forever.
Yeah. He's always yelling at us about stuff that doesn't matter.
I'm doing politics, but don't ever forget that nonprofits are where my heart is, where my foundation is.
What would be your dream nonprofit that if you could, like, if they're listening to this podcast? They're one.
Oh.
Boys and Girls Club?
No.
Oh. Do you have one?
I can't think of one off the top of my head.
No?
No. But it has to be somebody that is approaching the work from a systemic perspective.
Okay.
So yes, the hands-on, helping the one-on-one is important, but I also need folks to be paying attention to broader issues, policy issues.
Bigger issues, yeah.
That's
the other thing too. Policy issues just cost so much money.
Yep.
To have to lobby it to Congress and all that.
Everything costs money, Adam. You know this.
Other than this podcast. Okay. If you had one wish to get rid of something in society, what would it be? Homelessness, poor, drugs, alcohol, mental health. If you had one wish.
One wish, one
thing. If you could wipe one thing off if you could wipe one thing off, what would it be?
That's a hard question.
That's why you're on the podcast.
I would say inequity.
Inequity.
What
do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is, remember when you were talking about the playing field, right?
Yeah.
I really wish there was a way, and this is like a magic wand moment.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Magic wand.
Where everybody has the same opportunity
from the start. Got it.
I know that's not realistic, never going to happen.
Like when you turn 18, or like as a child, like the moment you're born.
As a child, because that's where it starts.
Interesting.
That would be I really wish there was a way to make sure. I sound like a socialist.
No, that's fine.
But which was not intentional.
Yeah.
But I really wish that, because there's so many kids out there who become adults, right? Like the young man that I don't want to grow up and be a drug dealer.
Yeah.
But circumstances. I wish that there was a way to magically fix everybody's circumstances to where there was equitable opportunities across the board.
I don't feel socialism is an issue. I just think people normally will sooner or later take advantage of socialism.
Well, yeah.
That's the issue.
Right.
And then it causes the system to like, well, why am I working hard when that person's
Which is exactly what
and that's why socialism just doesn't work, is because then it takes the motivation out of people.
Right.
I would say giving people the same opportunity in that aspect.
Yeah.
So
that's what I mean.
But like if someone like, but I don't think, and I think it matters when you get older, because like when you're a kid, you don't know, like, you know what I mean?
No, but when you're a kid, that's the foundation of it.
But if I'm 18 years old, if I want to go somewhere,
if I live in a poor neighborhood,
yes.
if I grew up in a poor neighborhood,
yes.
schools I'm going to go to are shit.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that would be the opportunity to be like, you can go. Here's what I don't understand is how is that not the number one thing? We just have every school the exact same in America. Like the government just pays for every school to be as great as every other school.
If only.
Like that, who would say no to that? Like that
because yes, I agree with you, but it hasn't happened.
So here's the question. Okay, here's a quick question for you. Conspiracy theory. I just thought of it right now. Is that's why they wrap schools into property taxes?
I was even ready to say it's all about the property taxes.
So then the rich people have everything better than the poor people?
I'm not saying it was intentional, but that's how it's been, and that's how it is, and that's how it's going to continue to be unless somebody changes that, right?
But then the hard part is even if those people are at a great school, the hard issue is it would take generational to be fixed, because then they come home and you're at home more than you're at school.
Yep.
And then that's the issue.
We can't fix all the world's problems.
I honestly think more people should not have children, to be honest. But that's just my opinion.
Just because you can does not mean you should.
You should have to at least do more than just take your, like a permit test.
Have you ever,
like a driver's license,
have you ever known anybody that has gone through the adoption process, like of adopting a kid?
No, but I heard it's really hard.
It's really
what I've ever heard, it's like really hard to get done.
Really hard.
Which makes I had a buddy.
Is crazy.
I had a buddy that adopted outside of the U.S. because it was easier. He went to like India and adopted a kid from there.
So what does that say about?
So then the question is, do they do it because people are making money off of that? It's all money. It's all money. You have to chase any problem you see. You have to figure out where the money is
behind it.
That's why I don't like affordable housing, because it costs us way too much money for the government to build housing for affordable housing, and equity in a home is how people become rich. So it's like I'd rather say Riverside want to do more affordable housing, which they want to do. Awesome. Cool. Trust you, believe it. Well, instead of building affordable apartments, we should build affordable condos.
Yes.
And the private sector should...
I say in addition to.
But, let me where I'm going. So then the people actually own the condos where they live. And they have ownership in that. And then if one day they want to sell it,
they can get
money back.
Money.
Because a house is, wherever you live, a condo probably, it's basically a piggy bank.
Yep.
That's all it is. It is forcing you to put your money away.
Yep. And
then hopefully one day cashing out.
Right.
And then it's messed up because I can cash out that as a refi. Say I have $200,000 of equity. I can cash out, take $200,000 back in my pocket, tax free.
Yep.
And so that's why I don't think building affordable apartments is great. Awesome. But we should be building 1-bedroom, 1-bath condos and keep it at a fixed cost. Don't let the market drive it up. And the more units we have, that's what brings cost of living down.
Yeah.
Like, I just sold a house in Riverside the other day for like 75 over asking price. It was stupid.
Wow.
But there's only 2 houses on the market in the area. It's a lack of inventory. So if we knock down the Sears and built 100,000,
you getting into the crazy zone right
now. And build 1,000 affordable condos that people can afford, and the government will back it up because the government's paying the loan anyways.
Yeah.
And they qualify those people. And yes, I know it's close to socialism. I get it. But,
no, I get exactly what you're saying.
They should own it because the moment you own something, the moment you own it, it gives you pride in where you live and gives you pride in your neighborhood.
Yeah,
you
and
care
money.
Yeah, because one day you'll be able to sell that, or you get to leave that house to one of your kids one day.
And that's the generational.
That's how you change it. Not making 800. We're gonna give you $1,000 a condo.
I absolutely agree with you that there needs to be multiple types of affordable, not just rentals. Rentals is a way that people get into.
We should get rental.
Right?
It should go you should go off the street into a rental. You do good there.
Graduate.
Then you graduate and you've been accepted into the program to own one.
Yeah.
I think
I would love to see something like that.
All right, when I run
Adam the realtor.
When I run for mayor,
I feel like you have enough expertise to make something like that.
But the issue is it costs too much money. And then
it does.
You have
expensive.
to make it cheaper for builders to develop. So you have to work a deal with the developer and be like, "This is what market rate is. We'll We'll make it cheaper for you to develop that land."
Yeah,
that's why I like, and then do it that way.
So I'm on the planning commission again.
Oh, I have a project I need to talk to you. Oh, can I get on that? Can I get on the planning commission?
You have to know what ward you're in first.
I'm in Ward 7. You don't even know what ward I'm in.
I don't. It's not my job.
Okay.
But there was a proposal, and I think it's going to be coming back for inclusionary housing. Are you familiar with that?
No.
So inclusionary housing is the idea that you mandate market rate developers to include in every development that they do, whether it's apartments or homes or condos, includes a few units that a certain percentage of units, and
they'll give us more. They'll let us build more.
There are certain small incentives. So I've had a number of conversations with market rate developers throughout the region, and all of them hate the idea of inclusionary housing because there's no real incentive for them to do it. They're going to end up losing money.
Yeah. Well, and it brings down the value because you have to disclose it.
Right.
And who wants to, how do I get on that committee? I think I'd be great on that committee. Is there any real estate people on that committee?
Right now, no.
I got a 130 home project coming up. I need to be on that committee.
Listen.
Who do I talk to get on that committee?
You have to apply.
Okay.
Go to the City of Riverside.com website.
Okay.
And look up boards and commissions. You can submit an application at any time.
Set it. That's happening. How many people are on it?
7 of us.
Oh.
I think.
Can you handle?
Who
runs it?
I don't remember how many. Wait. Let me think. 2, 3. Is there 9 of us? There's always somebody absent. A couple of folks just resigned because of various reasons.
Perfect.
One just moved out of the ward that he was in. So there might be an opening.
Oh, I have to go per ward.
There are 2 mayor citywide appointments. I'm in one of the citywide seats.
Okay.
But all the rest of them are for
all right, give me a citywide spot. All right, well, we got to wrap this up.
Yeah, wrap it up.
We got the mayor waiting outside. Launa's taking up too much time on me. Appreciate it. Make sure if you need some help, this is my girl. She'll drop the hammer.
If you want to run for local office.
Or
if you have a nonprofit that you need my help with, call me up.
Call her up. She works it everywhere. She don't care. All right. Thank you for listening to the #1 podcast from Riverside. Until next time, peace.